And welcome to the St. Luke's Mansion, formerly the Hefner Mansion, and one of the residences, or venues rather, that's on the Heritage Hills home tour this weekend, October 4th. And if you are in the neighborhood attending my garden tour, then you might want to take advantage of this historic home tour as well. Lots of beautiful, beautiful places, and a lot of them having some very special memories for me, particularly this one right here where my husband and I had our wedding reception 36 years ago. I can't believe time has flown, and it is just a brief 10-block walk from my house, the cottage on the hill. So what do you say?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, the most impressive, or at least my favorite thing about the mansion, is this alley of absolutely gorgeous, mature crepe myrtles. They're simply stunning. The bark, or lack thereof, is really, really gorgeous. And it makes a wonderful exit or entry into the back courtyard, which is actually where we held our wedding reception many years ago. And also, parenthetically, where Taylor's mother got married, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. But it's very, very impressive. And like I say, it has lots of meaning for the Vater family. Well, as I said, this was formerly the residence of the Hefners, it being the Hefner Mansion. It used to be an event center when I had my wedding reception here. And it was recently purchased by St. Luke's Methodist Church, which now pretty much consumes the entire block. They use this as an event center, offices, meeting rooms, etc. And they have really restored it and made some modifications to it to suit their very obvious and different needs than a family residence. So let's go inside. Well, there might be some ambient noises around here as we shoot today because there's lots of people here. This is a very active place. Let me introduce you to Ashley. Ashley, tell me your last name.
Robinson.
Robinson. And what is your role here at the mansion?
I do community engagement for the church, St. Luke's Methodist Church.
Well, and what a beautiful place for you to work in.
I really enjoy it, and I'm really only here a little bit. I do have a full-time job somewhere else, but I just love what we do at St. Luke's, and I'm encouraged to keep getting the community involved.
Yeah, it's really, really wonderful. So tell us a little bit about this dwelling. It was built in 1917. Did you tell me that?
Yeah, originally built in 1917 and was the residence of Robert Hefner and his family in 1927 and on until I believe his death in the 70s. And
he was on the Oklahoma Supreme Court?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And was an attorney.
Yeah, and a very, very famous name here in Oklahoma.
Of course.
So let's just start walking to the back a little bit. Now, again, this has been modified for offices, for clerical use, for community gatherings, things of that nature. So it's not going to have the same flavor as it would have had if it were historically intact for as a family residence. But let's look at some of the rooms and how large. Let's start working that way.
Yeah.
How large did you say the
It's
mansion
about 10,000 square feet.
10,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Pretty
to
large.
Me. Yeah.
3 stories with a basement. And the majority of the space these days is used for office space and gatherings.
And you can see we're
gathering for Bible study today.
Now, this is really fascinating to me because I did a little snooping around before Stewart got here, and this amazes me. This is, as we understand it, this is the original footprint of the kitchen, though it's been modified for catering use.
Yes, the original renovation of the kitchen was done to support our mobile meals services that we have through our church, and we now have it somewhere else, but we continue to use this kitchen to serve the mansion.
Yeah, and I asked her if there was another kitchen, a different kitchen, and she said, no, this is pretty much it. But look how tiny it is relative to the rest of the house. It's just, we've done the exact opposite now in our own homes, where the kitchen is such a prominent part of the living space. And here it was just such a tiny part back when
2 little hallways almost, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, back when people had servants, I guess, and they weren't very sensitive, I guess, to working in the kitchen for those who did the cooking and the serving. So you can see there's a long hall here, and it will go out into the courtyard, and we'll go there momentarily. I don't want to disturb any events going on, but there is, it looks like a library up here, or a designated area that's been converted to a library.
Yes, the library. And these days we use it mostly as an administrative meeting area or Bible study area as well.
Well, and it's got a wonderful, I don't know if you can see it through the windows, but it's got a wonderful view into the courtyard. And Stewart, if you want to sneak around this way, we'll try not to disturb anyone, but you can see there's a wonderful view to that crepe myrtle allée also, with the amazing, amazing trunks. And then in the other direction, out these windows, every window has a view, and there is a fountain outside of that window. Now, along the new ADA ramp that was incorporated when St. Luke's took over the building, you can see some really old pictures of the mansion itself, not too long after it was built. I don't believe they moved in until, maybe 1927, because it took so long to build the mansion. You can see some old pictures, obviously used as very much probably headquarters for society and societal entertaining. And here's a picture of it when it was under construction. The whole area, Heritage Hills and Mesta Park, is a very, very old neighborhood, historic preservation. And most of these dwellings were built at the turn of the century, and I would say until into the 1930s. Prior to St. Luke's taking over this place, it was used by the Oklahoma Historical Society, which moved to a new location so that St. Luke's could really, you have the whole block. Am I correct?
We do. We have the entire block of 14th and 15th between Robinson and Harvey.
Okay, and it's a beautiful facility. If you're out walking, you can pretty much circumvent the entire area. And what I love about it too is, in addition to the fact that I had my wedding reception here, when I was still working and pregnant with my son Johnny, my husband and I came and we looked at the childcare facility here.
Yes, we do have a world-class childcare facility.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And we took a look at it and toured it. And as it turned out, I did not use it, but it was comforting to me.
We do have quite the wait list these days. So
I bet you do.
I would not encourage anyone to look too deeply into it, because there'd be quite a disappointment there. But it is a really, really wonderful resource.
Yeah, it's really, really beautiful, and definitely taken advantage of by many people in the neighborhood who can just stroll these beautiful streets to walk their children to childcare. So there looks to me as if there are, I don't know, Parlor 1 and Parlor 2, or Dining Room 1 and Dining Room 2?
That would be my assumption. And upstairs were bedrooms on the second floor, and the third floor was a ballroom. And that's what the majority of the events that were hosted here were balls and dinners and society events, just like you said.
Yeah, pretty incredible. And all out of that tiny little kitchen, which just amazes me. Do you know if there were any dumbwaiters or anything like that?
We do have an elevator, but I don't know if it was added during our ADA compliance renovation, or if that was originally part of the dumbwaiter service.
Yeah, you would think there would have to be a dumbwaiter service to get up to the third floor ballroom, or somebody was taking a lot of steps. Do you know if the light fixtures are original to the house? They look like they probably are.
I have no idea.
Because there are, the fixtures are absolutely incredible, both in the hallway and in both of these parlors. And these houses, they really were built for entertaining. Not only the scale of the interior rooms, but even the scale of the porches and everything. You can see how they, prior to air conditioning, how they lived outside on the front porch as much as possible during the summer, and great big windows to get a good cross breeze. Now, I can only imagine how much it costs to run a home like this. And not just in terms of the servants and the maintenance of the facility itself, but even things like the scale of the furnishings that you had to acquire to be able to fill these spaces. I mean, look at the size of this. And what would you guess? How high are these ceilings?
I would guess they're 12.
12 feet. I mean, it's just really incredible. And the amount of dusting, just one floor, much less the entire mansion, is pretty impressive. Okay, let's go back out into the main hall. And I don't think there will really be a need to go upstairs. You said that they're mostly offices and things.
Yes, the prime interest of the second floor is our senior pastor, Bob Long's office, which he has done a great job with.
Okay, wonderful. But you can just see the landing up above and the tapestries, and it's just, I love all of the windows and interesting window treatments. I really like the window treatments as well.
And the third floor that was a ballroom has been framed out for officing as well. And so there are multiple offices of very interesting layouts up there that used to be the ballroom.
The ballroom, wow. And from top to bottom, here is my outfit of the day. My sunnies are from Bloomingdale's, I believe, many, many years ago. My earrings are so old, I don't remember where I got them, but they're kind of fun. My top is lily silk. My bag crossbody bag is from Banana Republic. My breeches are from Banana Republic as well, I believe. My belt is a thrift store find. I think we bought it someplace near Zion National Park. My walking shoes, because I did walk here, are Brooks. And let's see, have I missed anything? I think that's pretty much it. So I am trying to remember to do my outfits of the day. Many of you have requested that I start doing them again. Sometimes I just forget, and sometimes I'm just not very presentable to even show you what my outfit is. But hopefully you enjoyed that, and if there are any links, we'll try to provide them for you. Okay, so multiple sets of staircases. So this is the grand staircase that goes upstairs with the landing, but then there's a secondary staircase right here, accessible, looks like to the kitchen, and then it goes down into the basement, and then this goes up to the second floor and the third floor.
This is the only staircase that goes all the way to the third floor. This main staircase only goes to the second floor with the landing.
Oh, interesting. I'm wondering how that worked when you had guests that came in and they didn't go up the main staircase. Though this one doesn't look like a service entrance, it nevertheless isn't quite as grand. Now, can you show us to the chapel?
Yes. And to the chapel.
And so was this window already here? Did St. Luke's add this window?
I believe this window was already here. The glass within the chapel and also within our sanctuary is called art glass versus stained glass. And our archival historians within the church that are many of our 50-year members are very passionate about art glass.
Art glass, interesting. So it looks like that was the original intention of this as a chapel. Interesting light fixture. And this treatment on the walls looks very reminiscent of the treatment I had at my former home, Stewart. It looks a lot like it. This is a beautiful, very contemplative, quiet space.
We do lots of different services here. We do private joining moments for folks wanting to join the church. We have baptisms here, and we do small weddings as well.
Yeah, very intimate weddings. Well, I can see that. And how beautiful that it goes out into the courtyard.
And weirdly enough, this wasn't part of the original acquisition of the mansion. It was given to us through the Hefner estate in, I think, 2010.
Oh, interesting. Okay, it was a gift. Okay, now Stuart, we might have to enter into the courtyard from a different entrance than through the hallway because, as I said, they're getting ready for the home tour. There's lots of power washing, window cleaning, bathroom cleaning, all sorts of scrubbing going on. So we'll enter from the outside, and I think we can probably take it from there. But thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you so much.
This has just been so nice of you to show us around. And if you are in the vicinity, you definitely want to come in and take a look at the St. Luke's Mansion right here in Heritage Hills. Can you tell us about this right here? It looks like some beautiful handiwork.
Mm-hmm. So our church as a whole actually dates all the way back to statehood. And we have some of those items still in hands of the church, and our historians and our archivists that work with the church are very proud of how long we've been involved in our state, and this is one of the items that they have continued to preserve all the way back from the time that the land run happened.
April 28th, 1889, raised by J.B. Wheeler of Corunna, Michigan, and W.T. Shaw of Sweet Springs, Missouri. Wow, that is, and you can see it's really been taken care of because they saved it just at the last moment.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the former main entrance, very grand, up on the main level, up on the porch. There's now a secondary entrance for the offices for St. Luke's. And now we're coming down the Crepe Myrtle Alley in the opposite direction, specifically from east to west. And then to our right, to the north of us, is the courtyard. And again, there's lots of ambient noise. Everybody's sprucing and spritzing and mowing and blowing. But you can see just how beautiful it is. Right here in this green grass area is where Taylor's mom got married and stepfather got married. There's a beautiful fountain in which some guests at my wedding cooled themselves off. I was telling Stuart earlier that the evening of my wedding reception, we got here and there was no power. And there were just an old couple at that time who were the curators and the caretakers of the event center. And well, let's just say it was a challenge to get the power back on. The ice sculpture was melting. Oh, and I forgot, my caterer didn't show up because he had his first child that day.
Wow.
And the first guests, while we were rummaging around in the basement with OG&E getting the power back on, was my boss and his wife. But it nevertheless did not portend to anything but a happy marriage. So that was good. But it was a beautiful venue at the time. We had it in June. There was lots of things in bloom. We had lots of guests. It was all catered outside, and it really was lovely. So it's nice to have a touch point like that for me. And Stuart, you have a touch point also to this place.
My grandmother and grandfather's ashes are in, what's the wall called? She said it.
Not the crematorium.
Memorial wall, basically.
Yeah, memorial.
And my grandmother and grandfather both wound up here. And so that's where they are.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, this is a very, very famous, very pivotal church in the Oklahoma City Metroplex. And it's so nice to have this right within walking distance of my own home. And when we were coming in, I don't know how many people I saw that I have worked with over the past in their gardens and on different activities here in Oklahoma City. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you're in the area, please make sure to stop back by, whether it's on a tour day or not, because the people are very inviting and the facility is really incredible.